What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Creatively Driven Podcast. My name is Joshua McKenzie, and in this podcast, we talk about anything that inspires us creatively, be that through art, music, photography, video. The world is your oyster when it comes to creative outlets, I feel. And today we're going to talk about the benefits of creative outlets for mental health. This has kind of been inspired by a friend of mine, Alex. He started a company called Blue Collar Collective, and it's bringing awareness to mental health in the trades. And it started to kind of get me thinking of kind of why I started to do photography. And, I think mental health in any capacity, in any trade, company, job, whichever, is something that needs to be taken seriously. And I think that a lot of times it's not really conversed about as often as it should. And I feel like it's something where, in the trade specifically, like I'm a heavy duty mechanic, and, if somebody is going through some shit, and some people, may tend to maybe not tease it, but, it doesn't get taken as seriously as it should be sometimes. And I think we have the expectation to, carry on, bury it, deal with that shit at home or whatever. But just like the saying, don't take your work home with you. Sometimes you take your home to work and you have to deal with that. So anyways, we will have Alex on the podcast in the future for Blue Collar Collective and hear his message on, why he started it. And we will. I look forward to that. It should be happening soon. So, benefits of creative outlets for mental health. I immediately think of when I first picked up a camera. I was going through some kind of life-changing things, and I was able to, go out and find happiness behind a camera. And to me, it was a new vessel of creativity, but it was something that I was kind of eager to learn, and I was able to, take some photos, and, it was a sunset on a lake, honestly. That's kind of where it started. And it just, given the deep-rooted feelings that I was going through, it was more uplifting, and I was happy to see something that I was able to create. I didn't have words for it, and, you can't really express grief, anguish, and pain appropriately sometimes. And to me, to be able to see happiness in a different form, that was compelling to me. That was one of my reasons of picking up a photo camera and moving forward with it, and seeing different subjects in different lights. So some benefits would be emotional expression and release. Outlet for emotions. Creative work is going to give you a way to externalize what's hard to explain. Again, whether that's anger, grief, anxiety, or joy. Sometimes you just don't have the words for it. And if you have something in your mind or, in your head and your heart as a vision to create something, I think of that in terms of like photography or video. To be able to create something and get it out there, that's going to be a weight off your chest. That's going to be something that's going to help reduce an emotional buildup. It's going to turn your feelings into art, and it's going to release some tension and, prevent ruminating thoughts. Rumination is definitely can be a not healthy thing. I myself have had it in, certain occasions where you think about something and then you just overthink it, right? And it's not going to be any good for anybody, honestly. If you're able to not be in that mindset, I definitely applaud you. It's something that's not going to help a lot of things. I think also it can help build self-awareness. Being able to translate how you're feeling and try and see it in a different light creatively, that's going to help you translate that from emotion to creation. And again, there's going to be some trial and error, some things that you're going to try to see if you can get it out there and see if that's going to help alleviate some of your pain or how you're feeling. Stress and anxiety reduction. if you are able to get yourself into an immersed state where you're kind of in your creative task, I find you just get into this like a flow state. You are more focused. Your mind isn't on what may have actually taken you there to begin with. I found I lose track of time, honestly, when I am doing photography, video, music. When I'm in those moments, my mind isn't on time. It's not on keeping track of where I need to be. I need to be present in that moment to get things off my chest, make myself feel better, and to feel some sense of relief. Um, yeah, it's just engaging things. Creativity is going to keep your attention anchored in that moment, and some people will probably find that in like a state of mindfulness meditation. Um, I have tried like kind of meditating before, but it's hard, honestly. I was using this I was using this app, and I can't think of what it's called now. But it was an audio, and it was like guided meditation. Um, and I didn't do it long enough to really feel a lot of improvement myself. But I did want to try it and kind of see what things were about, because you know what? We've got one life to live. And if you're able to grow in different ways, I think personal growth is a fantastic thing if you're able to identify the way that you're feeling and to move on from some things, to identify some past pains or present pains, whichever. But I find a lot of those things can be deep rooted in your past. And if you're able to identify those things and learn from them, um, learn how not to feel about something or what thoughts are making you feel like that. If you can identify that, you're going to be in a better state going forward. So I definitely think that that is a good thing. Um, I think it's going to help boost your self esteem and your confidence as well. If you're able to write a song, say music is your outlet, and you write things down, or you're playing an instrument and you're able to get things out. You've got a start, and it slowly starts to piece itself together. And I don't know about you guys, but anybody who is a musician, I'm sure will tell you that once you are at one state, I'm thinking like a part of a song, and something leads into another part of it, and you're continuously writing, and it's almost like writing a sentence without knowing the words that you're using. You're just putting it together. Um, I've never heard a song thought of as a sentence, but it felt like an appropriate analogy. But yeah, just creating in those moments and seeing it come together, um, probably going to give you a pretty big sense of accomplishment. Um, and I think positive feedback too. The more you create, the more capable and confident you're going to feel. And generally, you're probably going to be in a happier state when you're in those moments. Um, I mean, saying that, like I have been in a not happy state when I have um, visited some of my creative outlets, writing lyrically. I found in the past there was some, anger and maybe not despair, but, something I was needing to get off my chest, or I, wasn't happy about something and felt like I was actually in the mood to write something lyrically. Um, and yeah, there's some things that I've put out there that I was not in a great place mentally at first when I wrote it. And you know what? It's art in a way, and it doesn't have to be any specific way in particular. But if you're able to get it out there and get it off your chest, I think that's just identifying how you feel in a way. And that's just going to be a connection to yourself. And I think a community can be had in terms of identification of feelings and again, like the mental health aspect of things and being able to clear your mind or at least address what you're feeling and identifying that. Sharing your experience is, again, going to help foster a community and have some mutual support behind it, because there are lots of people that are in those spaces that we don't think about. We are in our head in that moment, and we are going through our creative outlets. And yeah, when you hear feedback about some things like that, and it does take, it sometimes takes a lot for somebody to express how they're feeling. And I have seen that with just having something I've created and put out, and I feel a certain way about it. And I really do appreciate feedback, but I found nowadays we're so engaged in our devices. It's double tap, I like it, and that's great. It is great to see that people support you in that way. But to hear a physical feedback for if I like something enough where I'm going to comment on it, I am absolutely going to tell them how I feel about it, and try and shed some light and help others see it in a way that I see it, because we don't all see things the same. And that is the beauty of art and creative outlets, is what looks like one thing to you is going to look different to somebody else. Like, look at Picasso and some of those other famous artists. What they see is absolutely not what we see, but that is what makes it art and subjective, and that's relative to what they're going through. And I guess that could bring you to purposeful communication. Art does offer connection through meaning, and yeah, it's not just conversation. If somebody sees something and feels about it a certain way, I think that's pretty good. I think that can also induce conversation. But I think you have to be pretty open-minded when it comes to creative outlets. I think some people don't see it the way others do, and don't have the, I don't want to say disconnect, because you're not really disconnecting when you're in a creative space, but some people may not be able to tap into it like others can. And I guess it really leads you back to healing and recovery. I've heard of people doing art therapy, and haven't heard of it a lot, mind you, but I know that there are some outlets that are art therapy. Journaling, which is actually something I am looking at doing. I kind of had a bit of a moment the other day where a birthday clicked over. So I'm in my 41st year now. And again, I was just kind of thinking about identifying some things with how I'm feeling, and just trying to get more into the personal growth aspect of some things. I don't think it's a bad thing to really try and understand yourself. I think for your mental health, it can be a good thing to see and identify where you are, what you may or may not be doing that can help or hinder your time. And yeah, just being able to try and put more of that together and understand it. So yeah, journaling may not be a bad idea. I think I had always said that it was hard for me to reflect on things, and I think I kind of have to be in a certain mind space to get into that. Excuse me. I can't just put myself in that mind frame. I have to, yeah, I don't know. To me, tapping into like self-reflection, it's something I think I've only done a few times, and maybe I'm overthinking it. Possibly, I might be thinking it should be one thing, but it's not. And yeah, but excuse me, I digress. Journaling can definitely be a good way to get things out and just be able to look back on your feelings and how you were feeling in that moment, and maybe just another way of dealing with things going forward if you think that it's something you need to address. And music therapy, I can attribute even listening to music as therapy because, again, it connects you to a way that you're feeling without even knowing it. And maybe not everybody, but myself, yeah. I had my dad send me a song yesterday. He's going through some things, and he said that I should learn the Rain song by Led Zeppelin on guitar. And if you know Led Zeppelin at all, any of their stuff is usually not easy. It's something that you really are gonna have to practice towards. But I listened to the song, and it wasn't very long before I started to kind of feel a certain way. And yeah, it definitely helped put me in that moment. So yeah, anyways, I digress. I feel like we all have our own experiences and takeaways from this. So if you have any time where you feel that you've thought of mental health and creative outlets going good together, or if you do something to help with your mental health, drop it in the comments. Let me know. And yeah, subscribe for more Creative Fuel. I appreciate you guys sticking around for these, and hopefully you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.